thought people should wear work clothes to the party. Why don't you go change into work clothes instead of a suit?
I was overwhelmed by her arrogant words. She looked down on me just because I worked in construction.
That's enough. I knew I shouldn't have talked to you.
I didn't want to ruin the atmosphere at the high school reunion. When my best friend overheard this, he abruptly interrupted the conversation. My name is John Davis. I have no siblings, and I'm only a child. I've never been the extroverted type since I was a child. I was more of a person who wanted to support others. My dad, Wyatt, used to run his own civil construction company. Despite the small size of the company, my dad earned money for both my mom and me, allowing me to attend college. Construction of railroads, ports, airports, highways, tunnels, bridges, dams, and river maintenance are all examples of civil engineering activity. Construction work is diverse and strongly tied to people's daily life. This work is frequently associated with transportation infrastructure. My dad had been performing this work since my grandfather's generation and was particularly skilled at bridge and river repair.
John, I built that bridge. We've been going to view the river bridges since I was a kid. There are bridges of all shapes and sizes, right? We build bridges that connect people. Bridges make things more convenient and bring smiles to people's faces when they use them. That's what makes this work valuable for me.
My dad's remarks became clearer to me as I grew older. I began to admire my dad's work. Railroads, roads, and tunnels cannot be built unless someone proposes to build them. And if they don't exist, life will be difficult. He wanted to take something that people found inconvenient, construct it, and make people happy when they used it. My dad's thoughts on his work were very simple. When I was in college, I majored in commerce and did fairly well. But when it came time to look for a job, I told my parents, I want to help Dad when I get out of college. I want to work for Davis Corporation.
I want to help my dad when I get out of college. I want to work for Davis Corporation.
My parents rolled their eyes and looked at each other.
Don't you think you should try something new?
My mom spoke to me that
My company is in a difficult situation, with all the big companies taking most of the jobs available. In fact, we've been doing too well up until now. In this day and age, you never know what will happen to a privately owned company.
That was my dad's opinion. I told him how I felt.
I know it's difficult, but it's not in my nature to follow the same path as others. I can only repay you by helping you. Seeing how you've been working, I just naturally came up with this idea.
I'll say it again. Nowadays, things are not easy.
Davis Corporation is a legacy passed down from my grandfather. I am the eldest son and the only child. I don't care what happens, and I don't think it'll be a negative thing.
My parents were crying with happiness. Following graduation, I assisted with the civil engineering job of the family business, Davis Corporation. Prior to that, I decided to pursue a qualification in civil engineering. So while my buddies were seeking work, I was researching in the university library.
John says that he is going to help his family's civil engineering work. If he had been doing job hunting properly, he would have been able to get a decent job. There is no way I want to be a construction worker after college. He chose the easy way out. Taking over their family business is simple.
Easy way out. I guess my friends had a point. While everyone else was scrambling for work, I was alone in the university library. Regardless of what others say, I have decided on my future route. It was up to me to make it better or worse. To be honest, I didn't care who got a job at a big company or who was able to get a job in a fast-growing company. I didn't care about the gossip at the time. I convinced myself that studying before assisting in the family business was merely another job search. After graduating from college, I went to work for Davis Corporation, a small business with around 20 people. I learned a lot from my dad. I had a lot to learn from my dad at work. I learned a lot from my dad at work, in the office, and at home. I could only take a break at my lunch break because there was so much to learn from him. How could we increase our monthly sales? How could we compete with both large and small businesses? That was all I could think of. However, as my dad previously stated, it was difficult to survive as a privately owned company in this day and age. This was a world of elimination. All I could do was examine and see if we could move things to the next level. One day I asked my dad something.
Dad, we are good at bridge and river maintenance. But why don't you expand your work and start to work on transportation infrastructure?
If we expand too much, we will have a manpower problem. It takes people to build things. Expanding the scope of the infrastructure will cost too much. The same goes for technology.
I see. Then it is difficult.
If we expand the scale of our business, we have to establish offices across the prefecture. We are community-based, but that is only because we have the trust of the local people. It's all about trust in the end.
I see. That is the core of our business.
I wanted to do everything I could to spread the word about what our company excelled at. As a result, I engaged a company that designs to develop a website, and I also used social networking platforms to disseminate information. In this sense, I became a bridge to let others connect. I returned home after finishing my day's work to study for a civil engineering license. I could broaden the scope of my bridge building activities if I obtained certification. I thought I can be the bridge. With this belief, I worked harder than I had before. Time passed very quickly after I started working with my dad. In the meantime, 6 years passed. One day a letter arrived in my mailbox. It was from my best friend from high school, Owen Taylor.
On May 3rd, during the upcoming consecutive holidays, we will be holding a reunion of Jenkins High School. We hope to see you there.
I realized it had been 10 years since we had graduated from high school. I hoped everyone in the basketball club was doing well. I was a member of the basketball club in junior high and high school. I worked hard as a regular member and vice captain. Owen was the captain of the basketball team at the time. This was an invitation to a high school reunion from such a close friend. I found it exciting because Owen was the organizer. I wondered if the club secretary would be present too. I didn't want her to come, but I decided to keep my distance in case she did. The day I had been looking forward to, May 3rd, arrived. It was a standing buffet-style reunion that took over a full hotel floor. A total of 360 classmates and teachers came. Even the principal was there. I was astounded at how much people can change by wearing suits, gowns, and good makeup. My classmates looked very mature.
I should have bought a new suit for this day.
Because I always wore work clothes, I rarely had to wear a suit in business circumstances. I tried on a suit I had at home, but I was clearly the one who looked old-fashioned and tacky.
Hey John, what's up, man?
It's been a while, Owen. Hey, why are you dressed so stylishly like a hotelier?
I'm the manager of this hotel. Normally, you can't rent out this whole floor for a party.
You're the manager? That's amazing. This room is called Grand Suite Room, right? It sure does deserve its name.
The entry fee was cheap, wasn't it? I negotiated to make that happen.
I see. I appreciate it.
Owen, the popular high school basketball captain, had taken over as manager of the motel. The ladies gathered around this popular guy, and he acted like a popular guy.
Come on, I've prepared a special standing buffet course, so please help yourselves.
The ladies were all excited. Owen had always been generous, and he was better than most at winning the hearts of women. That's something I couldn't do. I envied him.
By the way, John, she is here too.
Oh, I see. I didn't really want to meet her.
Why are you looking so shy? Oh, there she is. Hey, over here. Keep him company.
Come on, Owen.
I was about to meet Gianna Smith, the ex-club secretary of the basketball team. But I did not want to meet her very much. Gianna Smith and I had been dating since we were sophomores in high school. We graduated from high school, attended college together, and even majored in the same field. We were dating for 6 years until we graduated from college. Gianna's mother was the CEO of a well-known apparel manufacturer in America. Gianna was the CEO's daughter, the only daughter of a powerful CEO.
You look amazing today, John. You are standing out, of course, in a bad way.
The sarcasm started. As she began to examine my clothing, she revealed that she was the daughter of the CEO of an apparel company. She inspected my clothes more thoroughly than everyone else.
You're helping your father with his work now, right?
That's right. How are you doing, Gianna?
Why don't you worry about yourself instead of worrying about me?
Gianna in high school was not such an arrogant girl. She was a kind girl who was considerate of others. I fell in love with her personality, asked her to be my girlfriend, and we ended up going out. However, during my junior year of college, when I was looking for a job, our relationship quickly cooled off. It was because I informed her that I would be assisting my dad with the family's civil engineering work.
Are you okay with that, John?
It's my decision, so I'm fine with it.
You have just graduated from the university and now you want to help the family business, which is privately owned? And you don't know what is going to happen in the future? Do you get what I'm saying, John? You're going to work in construction. Who cares? You are also going to help the family business, right? It's just that the scale is different, but the fundamentals are the same. I'm talking about our future. Deanna's sarcastic remarks were too much.
Sarcastic remarks were too much to bear after that. It was honestly getting hard for me to be in a relationship with her, and when I considered our future, I broke up with her at the end of the summer of our 4th year of college. More than 6 years has passed since then, and now we met again at a reunion. Until then, we had not kept in touch at all. I can tell by the way you were dressed that you had a hard time.
Really? I've tried to make myself look good with what I had at home, though.
You're always plain. In your everyday life, your clothes, and your work.
Maybe you're right. Plain is the right word to describe me. You are the flashy one.
She was indeed the daughter of the CEO of an apparel company. Gianna was the most glamorous of all the women in the group today. I couldn't even respond when she pointed out my clothes.
I guess you don't care much about what to wear to parties because you are usually dressed in work clothes?
I do care about what to wear a little bit.
Since you are a construction worker, even your heart is empty.
I don't think so.
Gianna, sensing my recent situation, said in an even stronger tone.
Poor people should wear work clothes to the party. Why don't you go change into work clothes instead of a suit?
I was shocked at her attitude and wondered what I had done to her. Gianna was looking down on me just because I was a construction worker, and she was mocking the work clothing I typically wear, which had the company logo on the back. To me, a work shirt was a uniform worn by professional athletes.
Forget it. I knew I shouldn't have talked to you.
Gianna had turned out to be an even more disappointing person than she had been when we broke up in college. I had expected her to have become a calmer woman. I was so disappointed that it brought tears to my eyes.
Gianna, are you saying that knowing what kind of work John is doing now?
Owen abruptly interrupted the talk, frustrated by the circumstance.
Owen, you don't have to tell her.
No, I have to tell her this because I'm your friend.
What's the matter with you, Owen? Are you defending this poor guy?
How can you call him poor? It's true that his clothes are a bit tacky, but Gianna, listen to me. John had been thinking about rebuilding the business while helping his father. Revamping things within the business, using our own website, and social networking sites. He started to inform people about what his company was good at. John himself has also obtained several difficult certifications. He is now a consultant for a civil engineering company. He is in great demand in the industry.
What? For real?
Deanna rolled her eyes in surprise. When I started working for Davis Corporation, we specialized in bridges and river maintenance. Now we have expanded our business to include railroads, ports, and roads. I had obtained all the civil engineering certifications I could get. The bridge that connects people to people that I set out to establish is involved into many bridges. Thankfully, I have even been approached to start consulting firms. That's what I've been doing for the past 6 years. Oh, and shouldn't have called my clothes as tacky, though. I'm a hotel manager, but I'm just organizing people who work at this place.
I can't work with people from other places. I can't build bridges between people from other places and gain their trust. Nowadays, it takes more than ordinary effort to achieve that. Can you do that, Gianna?
Me?
I'm sure you can, right? John was the vice captain of the basketball team and supported me. He worked hard to build a good team somehow. You are their manager, Gianna. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Gianna nodded her head.
John works as his dad's vice captain now. There's nothing harder than a plain job, you know?
Owen,
Gianna choked on her words and seemed to regret making fun of me. Owen used the basketball team as an example, and it was enough to persuade Gianna, who was watching us at the time.
I'm sorry, John. I didn't know anything about you.
Deanna said in tears.
if you get it, it's okay now.
I said you were plain and poor. I said such terrible things to you.
Well, you two can keep talking. I have to go see the teachers who took care of me and thank them.
Owen quickly left the place. As an organizer, he had to oversee the whole event. And he also had to make the atmosphere of the place more lively. It seemed like a hard job. I knew I couldn't handle that. Gianna and I talked outside the venue. There was an outdoor patio outside the venue. The quiet atmosphere was just perfect for us.
You broke up with me when you were looking for a job in your junior year of college because you didn't love me anymore, right?
I was too preoccupied with helping out in the family business back then.
And you got annoyed because I started to say things about you. You should have told me why.
You know, I didn't want to feel miserable by talking too much.
You're so plain.
I've been able to concentrate on my career as a civil engineer ever since our breakup. Additionally, I was able to grow my company by adding consultancy services and various infrastructure projects for the modern lifestyle. I believe that ending the relationship while I was still in college was necessary.
I was acting only in front of you.
What do you mean by that?
I was thinking about our future after graduation. If we were to get together, I was worried if I'd have a stable job or if my life would be stable. I guess I was looking at things with prejudice, which I shouldn't have done. I only saw people in terms of their positions. As a result, I ended up hurting you.
It's already in the past. I guess it was worth it, if you realized something so small. Don't you agree?
I'm really sorry for what I did at the time and what I did earlier. I'm sorry I acted so poorly.
You are so clumsy. Well, that goes the same for me too. So,
Gianna cried even more. I had never seen her cry like this before.
do you remember when I asked you out, Gianna?
What?
You were a kind girl who was kind to others. So I gathered up my courage and confessed my feelings to you.
I still believe that you are a kind girl who cares about others. There is no need to act. There is no need to be arrogant. I want you to be honest with yourself.
Okay, thank you.
I play because that's who I am.
Her eyes red and swollen, she smiled, and together we returned to the venue. The student show began, and the reunion was a huge success. The reunion concluded with an emotional finish. Thanks to Owen, the reunion was organized as a stylish setup. The scheduled time of 3 hours flew by. I was able to speak with several of my classmates and buddies from the basketball team, and we had a great time talking about the old days. It was a very fulfilling day. I could only thank Owen for his efforts on that day and on that occasion. On the way back home, Gianna asked me,
Owen, are you the same height as you were in high school?
I think I have shrunk a little in height, about 178 centimeters. I've gained a little weight, so I need to lose some.
I see.
We'll see you around. Take care.
I had a wonderful time with you today. Thanks.
I couldn't think of anything very thoughtful to say, but I did my best to convey my feelings to Gianna. She was the CEO's daughter, and I was confident she'd find a wonderful partner and live happily ever after. We had a romance in high school and college, but it is now just a pleasant memory. A high school reunion was a strange thing, and reconnecting with my classmates provided me with a lot of inspiration. Meeting people allowed me to closely observe them and realize where I was lacking. I absorbed things after passing them through my own filter. That way I was able to learn about a new world that I didn't know existed. I naturally felt that I had to work harder and harder to improve myself. Now I had to devote myself to my work. I had a lot to do as a civil engineer. I needed to build more and more bridges connecting people in various forms. 3 weeks after the reunion, on my first day off in a long time, I was relaxing at home. My mom told me that a package for me was delivered.
A package? Who sent this? Wait, was this sent to me by Gianna Smith?
It was a gift from Gianna. It was wrapped in a big box.
Oh my, it's been a while since I heard her name.
My mom said so. I had introduced her to my parents several times, but we were currently not in a relationship. My mom seemed pleased to hear her name, despite the fact that she had previously broken up with me. I went back to my room and carefully carried my luggage. I opened it and found a set of suits and shirts. It was a single 3-button gray suit.
So that's why Gianna asked about my height, and so on.
There was a handwritten letter inside.
Dear John, thank you for correcting me so gently the other day. This is a custom-made suit that I asked the designer of our company to make for you. It is perfect for business occasions, parties, weddings, etc. Whenever you have something important to do, just put this on and you'll be fine.
I couldn't hold back my smile as I read her comment. I did promise her that I would be mindful of my looks that day. In the end, I didn't go out or buy a suit.
You are still careless about what you wear.
I had the impression she was saying it to me with an astonished expression.
P.S. Is it possible to repair a bridge that was broken in the past? That is what was written.
Broken bridge? I worked as a bridge builder every day, connecting people, and she had to have known it when she used this phrase. Fixing broken bridges was my specialty. I immediately called Gianna's number. 2 years later, with the help of Owen, the hotel manager, we went back to the venue again.
I guess we're gonna be 30 now. I should find a nice partner too.
You are always popular and irresistible, so I'm sure you'll be fine.
I never thought a plain guy like you would get married before me though.
I'm sorry for being so plain.
The venue for the high school reunion was now the venue for the wedding celebration. It was a new beginning for Gianna and me. Today's Gianna is the same Gianna I adored when I asked her to be my girlfriend in high school. She is pure and innocent. If I was the new CEO of Davis Corporation succeeding my dad, I would be the captain of the company.
Me. Jana is now serving as my vice captain and secretary. Me. How was it? We will be inspired to create future videos if you subscribe to our channel. See you again in the next video.